So welcome, and welcome to people online. So the camera kind of represents about how many people have we got online?
14.
14. So camera kind of represents a window into 14 different homes, and their presence here in this room with us, in a way. So welcome everybody. Good to see you all, and just imagining your journeys to get here at this moment in time with us. And so how many of you are here for the first time? Great. I mean, this is it's fantastic to have new people, and a few people have mentioned that they started to learn to meditate online as well, or during the lockdown. I don't know. And how many people sort of just starting during lockdown, starting to connect, to see what it's like to be in a group with people, and how many sort of feel like they're old timers with this? No. Okay, well, welcome anyway, and we have Vajradaka, who I'm introducing. So I'm Bernadette. So I'm just one of the many beings here who enjoy and appreciate the North London Buddhist Centre. And so Vajradaka here has been returned from living at Vajradaka, one of the used to be a men's retreat centre, where you lived for 21 years, and 11 years ago returned to living in London, and has been continuing to live in men's communities, and in the last year has been living quite nearby in Stoke Newington. So I met Vajradaka because he was a friend of my partner, and my partner's friend was having a birthday party in one of the men's communities, and that's how I ended up meeting you. God knows how many years ago it was now, maybe 10 years ago. And but Vajradaka has been teaching meditation. Can you believe it? And don't try and guess his age. He is timeless. 50 years, which is a lot of experience, considering he was ordained just a bit before that, and it was pretty much, I guess you were meditating before then.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been teaching for 50 years, really. And I did have, the real blessing of having meditation reviews with you once upon a time, many moons ago. And it was such a guide. I really appreciate that, because I think I'd been meditating for a while, but I wasn't directional. And this helped me, I think, really consolidate a lot of my practice and guide me towards, you sort of guided me towards other meditation teachers too, to support me in where I was going. So I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Thanks. Is there anything I've missed?
No, that's good. The feel of it is
great.
You've got the
Good.
best of it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. So take that. Well, hello everybody. So I'm going to be looking around and at the camera. If the people offline, they feel left out if I don't look at the camera. So I will look at the camera quite a bit. But at the same time, I like to connect with people as well. So it's a sort of multi-looking situation for me. So the theme that was started a few weeks ago on the Saturdays was being authentic and speaking and communicating from a condition, a state of being authentic and in touch with yourself. And so I would like to just say a few words about a particular approach which we can pick up in the second half to do with that. And it has to do with the whole thing about thinking, actually. Now, I'm not going to go into what people think about thinking, but I'm very clear that thinking is very important in meditation. So that's the basic statement. Thinking is important. However, that being said, when you enter into a meditation, you're aiming to have your thinking very quiet, almost subliminal, and more at the back of your head rather than at the front of your head shouting or talking as if you're talking to somebody. So it's quite quiet. Like, for example, you might give yourself a directive: settle. So it's not settle, it's more like settle. And it sort of goes into the mind, and the mind goes, oh, this is what we're doing now. We're settling. So the tone is quiet, tone is gentle, and it also communicates what you're actually doing. You're settling, for example. And so the quality, as I said, is quiet, and it's a bit different from the kind of thinking as if you're talking to someone. It happens at quite a sort of quick pace. You know, the word settle can just sort of happen in a microsecond. It's quicker than it takes to say the word settle. So if you just experiment with that for a moment, so just play with thinking settle down from the front of your mind, and then play with it much quicker at the back of your mind, and just notice the difference. Settle down. Arrive. You're just dropping it in like little thoughts just dropped in, little directives. So that is an important aspect of thought in meditation. So it's in a way quite different from trains of thought or making commentary about what's happening. If there's noticing what's going on, you're aiming to have descriptive words like frazzled. First thing that came to mind. Not that I am frazzled, but it's sort of, or jarred, or quiet. So you're aiming to have words, thoughts in very, very short segments, rather than, oh, now I'm quite quiet, and isn't that interesting? Oh gosh, I haven't been quiet for a long time. Rather than that, you're just going, quiet. I'm quiet. I'm settled. Right? Do you see what I mean? So descriptive. And simple, not complex. So you get a sense of also your thinking, your description gives you a word that describes to some degree how you are. Like it might be, let's just pick one, dozy. You're sitting in the meditation and you sort of nod. And you go, oh, I'm dozy. And then the thinking comes with the remedy. And again, the remedy is in thought form, but quiet. Wake up. Pay attention. Open your eyes, or open eyes. So very short again. So you get the description of how you are, and if it needs adjusting, then the thought helps you do that. Focus. So we're going to explore that way of using thought in the meditation, which is basically going to be awareness of the body and the breath. And right from the beginning, thought is already really important, because one of the central principles, you could say, of meditation is you basically know where you're going to be engaging your attention. So in this meditation, I'm going to guide you into focusing your attention into the experience of the body and the breath. But that's your initiative in, so this is what we're doing now. I'm not thinking about anything else. Or rather, I'm going to let go of thoughts about other things. I'm going to clear them. And what I'm going to pay attention to is coming into the experience of the body and breath. So you set the intentionality, and all through the meditation you check, are you in line with that intention? Or have you wandered off from that intention? So setting the intention is like set something up that continues all the way through the meditation. You're always referring to it. And so, in this case, very, very simple. Experiencing body, breath, checking if you're with that, yes, I'm with it, or not, clearing, not now, come back. So it's very, very simple, actually, in that way. Body, breath, engage, experience, check, clear, return, continue. And so the thought keeps you in the area of experience. Now there's just, before we start, one more thing about this subtle thinking, which is, once you get it, it's a delight, but you just play with it at first. And that is that the quiet thought is, as it were, transparent. So the way that I think of that is, I have the breath. It's coming in and going out. It's coming in and going out. And let's say it's quite slow, it's quite steady. And the thought comes up, but I can, as it were, see through the thought. The thought doesn't stop me from experiencing the breath. So I might have the thought, stay with it. It's not like I lose the thought, stay with it, and then I have to bring back the experience of the breath. So it's sort of connected. The thought is there, but it's not obliterating the experience. Whereas, more ordinary thought, it sort of gets in the way and then it goes out of the way. But here we have them together, and it's more like translucent. Okay, so if you'd like to sit in what you feel is your best meditation posture, how you feel comfortable, stable, and poised. It all looks good. And if you notice that you're slouching, then just find a way of doing that. Cushions there can help. If you're naturally slouching, going a bit higher, and if your knees are sort of, as it were, waving in the air, it's worth at this point exactly to do that, which is to put a cushion under each knee. So you could think about doing that. And this also applies for people at home as well. If you're sitting in a chair, then it's the same principle. Stable seat, poised, comfortable and relaxed. Right, where are we? So we're going to sit for about 25 minutes. So, and just so right now, start to think, experiencing body, breath, checking, clearing, returning. Just bring that to mind. And I'll sort of, as it were, weave in and out of that in the guiding. So if you feel comfortable, you close your eyes. Arriving. Subtle, quiet thought. Arriving. Into the experience of the body, first of all, and how it feels. And let your attention move around your body, just noticing how it feels in terms of temperature, comfort, discomfort. So I'm going to introduce a particular word. Just get a feel for it, the word. Befriending the body. So the underlying attitude is that you're a friend to the body. You care for it as you become aware and experience it. And now just part of the being aware and experiencing the body, just check if there's any holding or tension in the shoulders or face, and just soften and let it go. Soften. Get a sense of the shape of your body, how it feels in its shape. And if it needs any slight adjusting now, if it's in any way uncomfortable, then now is the time to just slightly adjust that. Take the time, it's fine. If you notice your head is drooping, just let it come back slightly, so it's poised. Nice, yeah. And now particularly just drop in the word the back and neck and shoulders. Let your awareness, as it were, coalesce in that area. Softening any tension. Still being aware of the whole length of the back, shoulders and neck. Now start to introduce the word breath. Experiencing the breath and the back together. Feeling the rise and the fall, even though it's quite subtle. And just for a few moments, just let the description rise and fall fit the actual experience. And the words in and out as descriptions of the actual experience, but very much in the background. Now, bringing awareness forward into the front of the body, the heart, chest area, and the belly, and the breath. Just drop it in quietly as a directive, and then follow the directive. The front of the body and the breath. The experience is primary, and the thought is in the background, simple and quiet. So just for a few moments, again, knowing when the breath is coming in and out, based on the actual experience. So a little directive here. Present from the moment the breath starts to come in. Now we're going to close the focus down into the belly area and the experience of the breath, and how the breath moves and is moved by that whole lower belly and belly area. Movement and breath. And then just coming into the experience and allowing yourself to become absorbed in it. And if it's helpful, just put a hand on your belly to feel the movement, just for a couple of breaths. Gentle directive, staying with this and coming into the experience. New directive. The breath and the movement of the chest heart area. Quiet, back of the mind directive. Again, you can have a word that describes the movement in and out based on the experience for just a few breaths. Feeling the rise and fall. Feeling the stretch and the contraction, coming closer into the experience. Now, a quick broadening of awareness to check, am I still staying with my intention of being with the breath and body? If the answer is yes, just stay with it. If the periphery thought has opened up in the background, clear it with not now. Return to the breath. So in your own initiative, just using words like stay, settle, follow, clear, return. New focus. The breath in the nostrils. So a small area of attention. Coming closer. Drop that word in, closer. And keep relaxed. Letting the experience of the breath in the nostrils, as it were, fill your whole attention, fill the whole space. And just periodically asking for a descriptive word of the sensation. So the word, the description is in the background of the experience. And then back to the experience of the breath in the nostrils. Keeping your own initiative to stay with it. In a gentle way. broadening awareness to take the whole sense of yourself in, your body and general sense of yourself. And if you need to sit comfortably, just do that now. But you're just absorbing how you are. The way you're resting. Just taking in how you are. And if a descriptive word comes, just let it come and check, does it fit how I am? And then when you're ready, no rush, but when you're ready, just opening your eyes, and you have a broad, wide sense of yourself, and as it were, a panoramic view of the room. You just take in the room, just let your eye move around, but when you're ready, no rush. So it's like the breath now just sort of recedes into the background. It's still there, obviously, but you're now just more aware of yourself more generally, how you are, and you just check for the relaxation. Check that your shoulders haven't gone up or anything, just soften. And then when you're ready, just sit at ease. So we're back also with the online people. Hello everybody. So I'm just going to just talk a little bit about that. Doing the meditation on the breath and the body at least once a day for at least 10 minutes, or at least 10 minutes, or if you want to sit longer, that's fine, where you consciously decide to improve a skill of awareness and mindfulness, translates into your everyday life, which is a really wonderful thing. And it's, even though you can say, okay, so it's not particularly easy training yourself, it's easier when you don't have to do anything else. You know, talk to people and walk around, shopping or whatever. It's actually, this is all you have to do. You can, this is, so in a way it's relatively simple. You just have the body, breath, and you're working with this skill of using quiet, gentle, directive thought. And you just play with that, say for a week. And I noticed that when I said that, I started to get really enthusiastic, because it's such a, in my experience, it's such a great thing to do. You know, it's such a wonderful thing to do. And your mind begins to get it. And when it gets it, it's a wonderful thing. You then have far more choice about what your thinking is going to be like, rather than it just going off and doing whatever it wants. You can go, let that go, come back, I'm paying attention and reflecting or thinking about or talking about or doing this. And the mind goes, okay, all right, fine, I get it. And then it's such a liberating feeling, actually, not to be at the victim of all these streams of thought, commentaries and arguments in your head, if you have them periodically. So that's my suggestion for the week. Just take it up, just give it a go. Find a quiet spot. You might already do this, but find a quiet spot early on in the day, before your thinking has really started to get embedded in ordinary thinking. And then just train it, the skill. Staying, coming into, becoming absorbed, opening up, noticing, staying with, and trust the process. It's a process, and trust it. Don't say, oh, this will never work. Let go of that. Let go. Oh, I don't know. Let go of that. Let go of that. And go, just, oh yeah, actually, even to have the thought, it's working, is an important little observation. Gives you confidence. It's working. Stay with it. No, calm down. No, stay with it. It's working. Yeah. Stay with it. And in that way, the little meditation becomes this really, it's a dynamic process. It is stilling and calming, but it's also dynamic. It's it gives you a skill, or a set of skills. And I love that term, actually, skill set. It's nice and simple. You develop the skill set of this way of using thought. So, we're going to have a little announcements now. So I'm going to hand over to whoever is going to do announcements. Hi. Go ahead.
Thanks, Vajradaka. That was lovely. I'm going to mention 3 things coming up at the centre, which I think will be interesting to us coming to the Saturday class. I've just posted a link for those online to those classes. We've got a course coming up starting the 8th of June called Understanding Life, the Buddha's Radical Vision. And that's a really good course if you're looking to kind of dive a bit deeper into meditation and kind of Buddhism. It's really looking at how to apply the Buddha's teachings to living a more fulfilled, more happy, meaningful life. So that's live at the centre. It won't be online, and it's run by Ratnaprava and Nandaraja, two very experienced teachers, two very excellent teachers. We've also got a kind of, not a new class, it's our Tuesday night class, which is going deeper into meditation, but the leader on that course is doing a master class for the next 4 weeks, starting on the 1st of June. I think there's a little gap when Vajradaka is coming in towards the end of the June, and then they'll be doing that last master class after that week. But yeah, that's looking at meditation, going deeper into it, and looking at some of the challenges you might face in meditation and kind of approaching that creatively. And that's online. And then finally, just to say that we have bodywork classes. We've got yoga classes, Tai Chi and Qigong. They have all been online recently, but we're starting to open the centre up to meditation and these bodywork classes. And the first bodywork class starting back live is the Qigong on Wednesdays. So if you can get along to that, I definitely recommend that, because it's very much about gathering energy and integrating and doing a bit of movement in the body. And the final announcement is just to say that there's no Sangha night on Monday, with it being the bank holiday. But you can keep up to date with everything via our social media accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel, so you can catch up on talks and meditations via there. And I shall pass over to Catherine, who will do our donations announcements.
Thanks, Lily. This is just to say, if any of you could make a donation for this morning's class, the centre would be hugely appreciative. The suggested donation is £10, and I think a link is in the chat, and you can make a donation through that or through the website. Also, it would be absolutely wonderful if any of you could write a Google review for the North London Buddhist Centre, and please do spread the word about any of the classes and courses coming up to those who might be interested, who might not know about them. Thank you very much. I think we're going to have a 5-minute break now, aren't we?
Yes, 5-minute break.